give us 1 minute, Rog. Just give it 1 minute. Come on.
Can you go back there and hold it like that?
Yeah. All right.
Jim, come back, you're shadowing him.
Okay, interview coming
Back a
up.
bit further, Jim.
I think
Hey, Tony.
I was a pioneer for hope.
Go for it.
Exciting, brilliant.
He could do everything.
Excellent as a person.
But this was just the acceptable face of football.
I never ever looked at him other than in awe.
He's really a fantastic example for people to follow.
Just play like you do for Kenny Dalglish. Play for me like you play for Liverpool.
At his best, how good was he?
The best.
What do you want it? What? Make your mind up. Do it soon.
Want a game?
I would love a game if I could play. Boys, how we doing? Where are the Evertonians? Put your hands up. Come on, I know you're hiding. Where are you?
I'm going to play the ball to you. You're going to control it and turn in 1 or 2 movements, and then you're going to shoot for goal.
Man United?
Sorry.
Where do you live?
Parkgate.
You live in Parkgate. Why are you
Yeah.
supporting Manchester United?
In a word or two, what does football mean to you?
Apart from family, the most enjoyable time in my life.
Right, whose side am I on? The blue. Blue, ready? There we go. Let's go. Over there. Move.
How much enjoyment personally do you get out of doing something like this?
Well, I mean, it's nice to see young kids running around. It's good to see them, you know, enjoying their football.
This is my kind of football. Rugby, go on! The principle for me is to empower these young kids. Then, if you continue to develop in places like this, can grow up to play for England. Come on, down! Let's go, Blues, let's go! Come on, Blues, come on, score! Come! Ready? Put it in! Let's go! High five!
Who was the one biggest influence on your career?
My father.
Who's the captain? Nathan, you're the captain, yeah? What inspire your team, okay? Discipline.
Roderick Kenrick Benedict Brinsley Barnes, known as Ken Barnes. He was a colonel in the Jamaican army.
Determination, effort, commitment. Lead by example. Were you out last night?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was brought up in a very strict household, with my father being an army officer. My early days in Jamaica were very, very happy, but, you know, just very, very disciplined.
He also played football. He played football for Jamaica, so from as long back as I can remember, he's always inspired me to play football.
Well, my mum and dad will tell you because they put up football in the crib when I was about 3 years old. I used to play football by myself a lot in Jamaica growing up. Just playing by myself with the ball all day, every day.
My father then got sent to England as military attaché, which was a diplomatic post for 3.5 years. Here I am, 38 years later, still here.
Cold? Yeah. It's a night.
So coming to England, the home of football, I was really excited because, of course, while I didn't expect to become a professional footballer, I knew I would be playing much more football. Stowe Boys Club. I remember this well. This team on the right was probably my first year here in England. I played centre-back, 4 years, I'm at the back. Winning 6-0, players are scoring 10 goals, I'm at the back. So from centre-back I went to the left wing for Sudbury Court for 6 months. And that's obviously when the taxi driver was driving by, saw a game, come on, watch this game, there's this kid.
A supporter, in fact, phoned up the club and said that a friend of his had seen a young boy that he thought was well worth watching. He was recommended to us by a taxi driver who spoke to one of our scouts and said, you ought to go see this young boy playing for Sudbury Court, his name is Barnes. We saw him, we gave him half a game, we hid him and signed him as quickly as we could. You don't need to be an expert, you see.
I thought I was just going to go back to Jamaica because my father had already been recalled, and I was going to go back with him.
He was just 17 at the time, and of course, you know, you worry about a boy who's only 17, being left on his own, and of course I wasn't sure whether he would make the grade at the time.
So his family left, but Watford became his new family?
That's correct, yeah. That was very, very important to establish that relationship with his parents.
That's what he wanted to do, and of course I always encouraged them, so it turned out well for him.
We gave Sudbury Court a set of shirts and a set of shorts, and then 6 years later John was sold for £900,000.
Welcome again to the big match. Well, we're certainly in a run of good games lately on the programme. The main match, Watford against Norwich City, affecting the top of the second division.
There was a game at Norwich that thrust you into the limelight because it was on television.
It was on the big match.
Watford have this young man who's exciting the crowds, 17-year-old winger John Barnes from Sudbury Court, recommended to the club by a Watford supporter. Some recommendation that is turning out to be.
I was playing against Willie Donaghy, who was a Scotland international at the time.
Barnes. Well, he showed that to Donaghy. Oh, my goodness!
I suppose, you know, good things happen at the right time for me.
Running in by Barnes! We've seen enough skill from young John Barnes today. His potential is really something quite extraordinary. It's 17.
What's the biggest single reason you made it in football?
Discipline. With Watford, no matter who you are, you ran back and you tried for the team.
We didn't have the best team, so we had to learn the defensive part of his position in the team. What we're talking about really is doing our best, a group of fellas who are prepared to work hard, try their best, and give their best whenever possible.
I'm glad that my 6 years at Watford was with Graham Taylor in terms of the way he actually brought me up. A manager who really believed in you and who, in many respects, was very similar to my father.
The 82-83 season, where does that rank in your career?
I would say apart from my probably first 3 years at Liverpool, that is probably not only the best football I played, but that's probably the happiest time of my footballing career.
Dreadful mistake then by Robertson to set Barnes in. And Barnes has given Watford the lead.
Barnes. Towards Ross Jenkins.
We finished second in the league. To Liverpool, which was an absolutely incredible feat.
How?
We finished second in the league because we had that desire and that belief, and in many respects with people telling us we couldn't do it.
And John Barnes is on his way here. Only Riley up with him. George Riley! A perfect cross from Barnes.
They had such a direct team, but he was the creativity and the class, that bit of magic.
He gave the team something extra, something special. With all of the other lads, they knew that if you give the ball to Barnesy, we might win this game.
Do you define yourself as English first or Jamaican first?
Neither. I define myself as John Barnes.
Bobby Robson passing on the instructions for John Barnes at 19. Will be his first full international.
John Barnes could play for our under-21 side, and the fact that he's playing international football at senior level shows, you know, the progress he's making and what I think about him.
June the 10th, 1984, the Maracana Stadium. I was looking forward to it. Just to be there was just magical.
One of the greatest goals ever scored by an English player, ever.
Still 0-0, coming
towards half-time. Hasty for England.
I remember chesting the ball down when Mark Haley passes it to me.
It's a good ball there for Barnes.
Then, of course, I've gone on a run.
John Barnes now.
I remember wanting to shoot when I got to the edge of the box with my left foot, but Tony Woodcock was in the way. I dragged the ball inside.
Might go all the way for England. Barnes.
I then looked up, and I've just seen the goalkeeper. And I thought, how did I get here?
The ball's in the net and you're thinking to yourself, that is a special, special goal, Barnsley.
Incredible.
And Barnes here in Rio has performed a miracle.
The beautiful afro, the way he was celebrating at the end, because I'm not sure that when you look at his face, you realise what he'd done.
First goal for England.
But I'm not sure if there's any other English player or any other player that would represent England could score a goal like that.
Was that goal the best or the worst thing to happen to your England career?
The best thing.
It was both. One, it had to be the best thing because you don't score goals like that. But two, the expectancy then of Barnsley. If you're not doing that now every game, I'm sorry, you're not playing well or you're not giving effort to it.
In terms of the expectations and people saying, why do you do that every week? Yes, but would I have it any other way? Not at all.
England have won it. The first time they've won here at Maracanã Stadium with a stupendous goal by John Barnes right on half-time.
On the plane, we had a couple of National Front members out there, and they were saying that we only won 1-0 because you'd scored the goal and stuff like that. But we ignored them. This was just the way it was, completely accepted by everyone. The abuse, the name calling, all you could hear were the hoo-hoos, the nigger chants.
When did you first encounter racism on the football pitch?
Probably my first game for Watford, I would think.
At certain grounds, we had to suffer from racist abuse. That was terrible.
The crowd are booing John Barnes. I hope he's not going to be spoiled by that sort of thing.
If they had a problem about John's race, it wasn't half the problem that they had with him trying to play football against him.
Cleverly done from John Barnes. Brilliant goal!
Is football racist?
No more than anywhere else, or no less than anywhere else.
Since everything has gone so well, I can't help but have the confidence because since I've been at Watford, Watford got promotion, FA Cup final this year, runners-up last year, everything has gone so well.
We'd had him 6 years, for goodness sake. We couldn't keep him anymore. He was too good for us. He had to go. When Liverpool showed the interest, then I was quite prepared to do the deal with Liverpool.
Liverpool wanted to sign him in January and I didn't come till July. So, of course, there was a bit of talk in the stand between January and July about John Barnes. He snubbed us, he turned us down, black players can't make it, they're not good enough, so we don't want him to come. Barnes fight to win over Anfield fans. I'll do my best for them, pledges new signing John.
Did you get hate mail before you signed for Liverpool?
I got a few letters, yes, saying, you know, you black this, you shouldn't be playing for Liverpool, blah, blah, blah. And here I am, outside Anfield, signing autographs. It would have been quite nervous for me at this time, trying to, you know, as it says, win over the fans. Culturally, you know, where you live, you don't really see it. And then coming to Liverpool, I saw how separate the communities were. I was completely unaware that that was even there. So it just goes to show how much apathy people had towards it back then.
If John Barnes fails somewhere like Liverpool, I feel that puts us back I don't know how much chances we would have got ourselves, how much longer that would have taken for us to get through to that level if someone like John Barnes doesn't go to Liverpool and produce like he did.
When I talk about mass racism, I'm talking about the amount of people. It really seemed as if it was like the whole stadium, which was, hurling abuse.
It's very hard that you've got someone here screaming stuff at you to the point where spit's coming out of their mouth. They're that angry. You think that's just blanked out. You blank it out because you're being professional and you're getting on with it. But you walk off and you're thinking about that.
I had experienced it before, equally as horrific, but not in those numbers.
There would have been an element who would have wanted him to fail.
Oh, absolutely. Of course there was.
There would have been an element who were thinking he won't be tough enough to play at a club like Liverpool. Is that what we're talking about?
Absolutely what we're talking about.
That would only have encouraged him.
How did he deal with it?
Brilliantly.
It kind of looks kind of staged, as if, because the whole image of me kicking the banana looks like it's a setup. So it's a very poignant image.
That's how you answer it. Most probably would have been able to peel it with his left foot if he saw it coming. Brilliant.
In a high-profile game, this then was shocking to people who hadn't seen it. That's when the whole kick racism out of football thing really started.
Ian Wright says that for him, you were the pioneer.
Obviously, they're looking at it different to me. I'm looking at it and thinking, it's about time possibly, but it should have been sooner.
But there has to be a catalyst, and many believe you were that catalyst.
Good for them. Good for them.
He's really a fantastic example for people to follow. The way that he conducted himself on the pitch.
No matter how much hate mail he got, or no matter how much abuse he was going to receive, no one was ever going to get one over on John Barnes.
It never affected me at all. I have been a fully empowered and enfranchised young man growing up, and I would never let anyone try and disenfranchise me by throwing a banana at me.
I think he tried to deal with it as a professional footballer in the right way. He used to just go out and in the end make the same people who have made those gestures, those noises towards him, end up clapping him off.
You produce the goods. That's the way you stuff it down their throats.
He wanted to play football, he wanted to be successful. And that was the same principles as we had. He came in and encompassed the whole thing about Liverpool Football Club. We wanted somebody like John to complement what John Aldridge could do.
John Aldridge likes crosses. He thought I was just going to go down the line and put crosses in. And I think what actually worked was I brought more than that.
For us, we were buying two players. If we needed somebody to go through the middle, we knew he could.
Even the Liverpool fans who were doing the racial abuse before he got there, they got in line and realised that they're dealing with top draw.
Peter Beardsley came in the same year, so it was really a fantastically exciting side to watch.
Barnes. Beardsley back to Barnes again. And Aldridge! A magnificent goal! Beardsley, Barnes, Aldridge, simply unstoppable.
Where do you place that Liverpool team that Kenny built?
The best for me, that was the team that I'd love to have played in. And it was Barnes, he was the instigator really. He was the man at the front, and he was the main man who did everything.
When he'd move with the ball, it was so fluid. It's like liquid.
If I was playing with John Barnes, my first thought was, when I've got the ball, is to give it to John Barnes. And that's probably what his Liverpool teammates thought. Ball, Barnes.
Oh, Barnes, lovely bit of play. Oh, lovely play by Barnes. Now the little cross to finish it off. It's in there!
For us, he brought poise, he brought real quality. He could go and take it up to people, go past people, play other people in.
Well, Barnes showing that he can tackle as well. And pass it, we know he can do that.
He could do everything. He had the pace, the crossing, the finishing.
Barnes. Oh my word! What can you do about that?
Being strong, being organised, but being full of flair.
He was just magical. That's what they call him, the magical John Barnes.
There's a bit of magic there. Knocked out by him towards Barnes! A brilliant goal!
At his best, how good was he?
The best.
The people here, they loved him. They loved him because he was genuine and because he knew they were getting 100% honesty and commitment.
This is the Players Player of the Year award, because I won the Sports Writers as well, but this is the Players Player of the Year award, which is the one you want, really.
What's the one proudest moment of your career?
Winning the league championship.
And there it is! Liverpool are the champions. And in the centenary year of the Football League, there can be no more appropriate winners.
There was celebration when we won, but it wasn't, over exuberant, or we didn't get carried away with it. And then what taught me was that it's fantastic, we've won, forget about it, it's gone. What is going to keep you hungry for success is if you don't pay too much importance to your successes of the past.
It's 100 years since English football produced an occasion such as this. The teams occupying first and second place in the championship. Head to head, the last match of the season for the league championship.
What's the one biggest regret of your career?
Not taking the ball in the corner against Arsenal. May the 26th, 1989, Liverpool versus Arsenal. Last game of the season. Liverpool can lose 1-0 to win the league.
And Smith! And Arsenal have scored! This really is a nail-biting climax now.
Then losing 1-0 with 90 minutes on the clock. I don't know how I got the ball. As I'm going to the corner, I can see the goal, and there I can see the corner flag. And as I can see the goal, I can just see Kevin Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson. He was injured. I would have tried to beat him as well. If he'd have gone past Richardson, it was one-on-one with Lukic. How many times had he done it so well before?
Kevin Richardson took the ball off me, probably just inside the box, and passed it back to the goalkeeper.
Barnes will not be denied. Yes, he will, by Richardson.
But he picked it up, threw it out to Lee Dixon in the right-back position. I was obviously not there. I was a left winger, so that's where I should have been. Steve McMahon left Michael Thomas, he was marking Michael Thomas, to try and stop this ball from Lee Dixon into Alan Smith, which obviously left Michael Thomas free to run through.
But Thomas charging through the midfield! Thomas!
I remember looking at it and seeing Ray Houghton chasing him as he's going through on goal and saying, go on Ray, make a challenge. But unfortunately, it wasn't to be.
It's up for grabs now! Thomas! Right at the end! An unbelievable climax to the league season. Well into injury time, the Liverpool players are down absolutely abject.
John shouldn't be blaming himself.
At the end of the day, I think you give him a bit of credit, but I think we've always got to look at ourselves. And I think there's times in the game when we've only got ourselves to blame for what happens.
Yeah, we were disappointed, but you can't have everything in life. And for us, although we'd have loved to have won the league, the FA Cup was a big one that year because of what it meant to the families of the people who'd lost somebody at Hillsborough. People deal with tragedies in many different ways, and he was right up front with any of the funerals that we needed to go to. He would be there owning up, fantastic with the families when they came to Anfield, looking after them and very, very caring.
I felt this guilt. They're coming to watch me. I know they're coming to watch everybody else, and it's Liverpool Football Club. It's an irrational thought. So you feel this guilt. And I wasn't sure how they would react, because had that been my loved one, I wouldn't want to go and meet footballers or meet a football team or ever watch football again. So as they're coming into the Players' Lounge, you're a little bit like, how are they going to respond? They were coming in, and so many of them were coming over and going, I cannot believe that I'm in the Players' Lounge with Ian Rush and Kenny Dalglish. They're not happy to be there under those circumstances, but just for the very fact they're meeting their hero showed how passionate they are about their football club. It showed me the real character of Liverpudlians.
The decision was then given to the fans and the family as to whether we thought we should continue. And the decision they came back with was, yes, we have to play.
I think it was very appropriate that it was a Merseyside derby, Liverpool versus Everton, because Evertonians would have lost relatives in it, and they were very good in supporting and everything, but I just felt so sorry for them because everyone was willing Liverpool to win.
Okay. Let's go, come on. Oh! Jimmy, what happened? Good try, Jim. Give me a high five. Right, that'll do. Thanks, boys. I'm off. It's too cold. And they wouldn't pass to me. I'm not playing anymore.
What's your one biggest strength?
Humility.
What's your one biggest weakness?
Humility.
I've always had football in perspective. Football is your job, and I love it, and I love doing it, and it's very important. But, you know, there are more important things.
Thank you very much, John. It has been a real pleasure to meet you.
It's been a pleasure for me too, sir.
Yes, good. I'm very happy that, feel honored that you should put aside your busy schedule and find time to talk to us.
Nothing could have been more urgent than to come and see you, Mr. President. Thank you.
I got the ultimate amount of respect for the way he is and the way he thinks. You know, deep, deep man for me.
Excellent as a person, yeah, and that is vital for me when you're signing footballers who happen to be footballers. What are they like as people? And John was first class.
In the 1990 season, how many goals did you score in 34 games?
It's going to be Barnes. Curled brilliantly! What a fabulous free
I was the top scorer, but not a top league goal scorer. Gary Lineker won the top goals in the league, but I scored more goals because I scored more in the cup.
And Barnes is in behind them all here. Can he round it off? He can. Oh, that's brilliant! Venison's cross and Barnes is coming in!
Look at this break by Barnes now. The flag stays down and the ball is in the net by John Barnes. United have been caught out here. Will they be punished? They are by John Barnes.
Liverpool would again be the champions.
Who voted for Barnes? In the background. Brilliant he is. Brilliant.
I miss the old dressing room. Dressing rooms are different now, and I understand dressing rooms are different in terms of the characters and the banter and what actually goes on. So I cannot imagine that a dressing room now would be a dressing room like it was 25 years ago.
And he has. Kenny Dalglish is coming to the deep end of the pool.
Would you have imagined when you won the title that Liverpool wouldn't win another one?
Not at the time, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Well done, son. Smile. Hop along, Cassidy. Come on, Hoppy. Now, you should be in a boy band. Well done, boys. You're too good looking to be a football team. West Kirby Wasps needs some more ugly players. You're too good looking, you boys. You'll never make it. You got to look like Wayne Rooney, haven't you? See? Or Gary Neville. That's how you got to look to be a footballer.
John Barnes has got a whole different vibe and a different attitude towards things, which is, which he's blessed with. It's his natural, I don't know, his natural Jamaican heritage of just being calm and cool about things.
You got to hold and give, but do it at the right time. You can be slow or fast, but you must get to the line.
And they'll always hit you and hurt you. Defend and attack, there's only one way to beat them. Get round the back, so catch me if you can, cause I'm the England man. There you go, that's it. Goes on for a bit longer. I'm on royalties now though, so if this goes in, I'll have to get paid.
When I first saw the rap, I just loved it. I just loved when Barnes was doing the rap, and he'd do it, you know what I mean? It was fantastic, man.
Barnes. What we wouldn't give for a Liverpool-type performance from this young man now, but that wasn't it there.
I was never as comfortable playing for England as I was for Liverpool because the way England played didn't suit me. And I've said that, and it's obvious.
If you had one word to sum up John's England career, what would it be?
Average. Because he didn't play in the right position, and too much was expected of him defensively.
He's got the class, he comes from good stock, he's got a good attitude, he's a lovely boy, he's intelligent. Come on, Johnny. Just play like you do for Kenny Dalglish. Play for me like you play for Liverpool.
It's Barnes with a difference.
You know, people will always point to the player and blame the player for maybe not performing on a certain stage. But at the same time, what about the manager? How can the great Bobby Robson say something like that and not think to himself, well, what more can I do in respect of this team with that kind of player? What couldn't you couldn't build a team around someone like John Barnes? So is that John Barnes' fault that the manager didn't do that?
I felt that I was confined to playing a particular way in a particular position, whereby we didn't concentrate much on the technical aspect of it. We didn't concentrate much on keeping possession, moving the ball around. It was more about aggression. And if you look, mainly the hard-working midfield players or the main goal scorer or the centre-backs were the heroes for England. Backs to the wall wins, hard tackling in midfield, Gary Lineker scoring. We never outplayed any of the opposition. I would love to be playing now because it's all about the technique and the skill and keeping the ball and the flair, whereas back then that's not what it was.
Pearce had to drive it in early. Our Barnes! Oh, fantastic! A brilliant goal! What a goal!
You know, when you speak of iconic England players, he should have certainly been in that list. He should have been the best outfield player, the most exciting English player that we've had, definitely.
I've always had stick from the fans when I played for England because of A, the expectations, B, there was a story about me not being committed to England because I wasn't born in England. So all of these things led to a lot of negativity towards me.
Was it also to do with his, in inverted commas, lack of commitment, which had been questioned?
Well, they should not have questioned his lack of commitment. You're just saying that because sometimes he's like anybody. He might not have such a good game. Doesn't mean he's not trying.
It really, really was hard to deal with, listening to them boo him like they did.
I mean, what on earth? What on earth is with these people?
Explain what happened to you on the eve of Euro 92.
I would have been 28. Should have been coming into my prime. And then I ruptured my Achilles tendon. Barnes tears Achilles and is out for a year. And there's the picture of me lying there in agony, and I remember it. If you look at the size difference now between the right and the left one, there's the left one. You can see the difference in size. I lost my pace and dynamism. So that for me was my life-changing footballing moment when I had to become a different player. It took me a long while to really realize that I wasn't the player that I actually was physically anymore.
For a player of Barnes' ilk, it just stops them being, you know, truly, truly, truly great. He morphed into this, you know, leader of the team. He was the best player we had. You know, we all looked up to him, really.
What was it that Liverpool squad lacked between 92 and 96?
We had so much talent and so much ability, but you need more than talent and ability. You need to have the right dedication, the right discipline, the right professionalism. I actually walked off training twice in my frustration.
There was always something a little bit weak in some of our players in certain games, which cost us in the end.
Every time coming into April, we had a chance of winning the league. And I knew, because of our ill discipline and our lack of drive, determination, professionalism, we would fall away at the end, and we did.
Yeah. See, I can tell you. I'm surprised you weren't there first.
I was asked by the directors at Celtic for some names. I gave them John's name. They met John, and not surprisingly, they were really enamoured with him.
I was concerned. It doesn't follow that such a talented player as he was can go and manage players who aren't as talented as he was.
From day one, there was negativity towards me. There's criticism about me, considering that we were at first 11 games, we were very successful.
He came in and he made a better start than anybody other than Jock Stein.
You just felt pressure. It was constant pressure. No matter what happened, it wasn't good enough.
Inverness Cali Thistle. Super Cali Go Ballistic Celtic are atrocious.
You can smile now.
I smiled back then, it was very clever.
obviously they lost, and there were some people outside that showed a bit of disconcern, and the board said they wanted John to go.
I won Manager of the Month in January. February the 11th, I was sacked.
Was it too much too soon?
Well, if it comes now at 51, I don't think it'd be any different. It's more to do with the perception of my ability to do the job. Because there's a certain perception of who can make a good manager.
Has your chance in management been prejudiced by the colour of your skin?
Absolutely.
No, not when you've played at your level. Don't blame it just on that, John.
A white manager loses his job, but he gets another job. He loses his job, he gets another job. He loses his job, he gets another job. Very few black managers can lose their job and get another job.
With someone of John Barnes' ability and stature, to not have worked more in the game with something that he's desperate to do, I don't know what else to say. What else can it be?
Can you judge it by the amount of jobs that you've applied for and not got anywhere near getting?
No, what I can judge it from is by looking at society and looking at, once again, how many black people are there in the higher echelons of any industry. We talk about journalism, we talk about politics, we talk about anything. So why should football be any different?
You know what you're going to do now, boys? What do you have to do now? What did I tell you?
Train a lot.
Practice. Practice makes? No? Come in. And I'll tell you what Terry Venables told me.
I really feel sorry for him because I thought that Celtic would have been a brilliant job for him to start his managerial career.
What Terry Venables will tell you, which is better than practice makes perfect, is practice makes permanent.
I don't think he got the chance, really. I don't think he got the chance.
So correct practice is important. So what does practice make? Good boys. Off you go.
If there's one thing you'd like to achieve, what is it?
Management. Simply. To be given an opportunity in management. The opportunity isn't just being given the job. It's people giving you the support, the belief, and time.
Don't stop applying. Don't stop. Because if you do, then the opposition's beat you, John. And you're not used to that.
Ugly ones at the back, good-looking ones at the front. Well, you put me next to an Evertonian? Is that a coincidence? We don't mind.
His legacy, I hope, isn't going to be that he couldn't get a manager's job because of his colour. I hope his legacy is going to be, it has to be about his playing ability. It just has to be.
Barnes, a delicate chip, and it's in, a superb goal by Barnes.
When people talk about John Barnes being the greatest player in the world, or among them, in 89-90, what do you think?
I think that's a bit of an exaggeration. I never saw myself as one of the best players in the world. I look at other players and I think, they're fantastic. But if you ask me about the way I see myself as a good player, but I suppose I just can't see myself as the superstar.
Here's Barnes in a bit of space. Aldridge ahead of him. Rush inside him. Barnes might go all the way. It's in the back of the net. John Barnes.
For me, he's up there with the greats of English football and British football. Easily. Easily.
You know, he set the goals very, very high to Barnesy. You know, and I hope he goes down as, you know, one of the great figures in British football, I really do. Because he should be. He certainly should be.
What would you like to be remembered for?
I suppose slightly, I would probably feel that I would like to be remembered as an entertaining footballer.
He'll be remembered and revered at Liverpool for his performances on the pitch, for what he did, for the defences that he ripped up.
He's a hero.
I still remember the feeling when I was playing at that particular time and how fantastic it was and how you just didn't want it to end. And I suppose you do take it for granted. And probably later on in life, when you know the end's coming near, you probably appreciate it much more. But as a 21, 22, 23, 24-year-old player, it was just an everyday part of life, which you didn't really savor, and you really should.
Another top sports star gets the Sports Life Stories treatment next Tuesday night at 10. But next tonight, Jackie Chan does all his own stunts and takes on a vicious gang in Rumble in the Bronx.